Sharia does not allow freedom of religion. It discriminates against women, against non-Muslims. There is no equal rights under Sharia. A Muslim head of state can come to power through seizure of power, not through election.
It's now abundantly clear that the Arab Spring produced a bouquet of weeds, and that we've gone from spring into an ice tundra. There never was an Arab Spring. It was all a facade. It was always the Muslim Brotherhood wanting to accomplish its agenda of implementing Sharia law in various Islamic nations and reuniting the Ummah, the one people, restoring the caliphate, the successor to Muhammad. All right, so we've got Egypt, where Morsi was thrown out, and now the Muslim Brotherhood has been declared a terrorist organization again. This has happened in Egypt since the early 1920s. That's where the Muslim Brotherhood was born, was Egypt. And they've had an on-again, off-again, mostly off-again relationship with the Egyptian government since its inception. Because from the beginning, they were terrorists and assassins, and they were trying to bring down Islamic governments in order to put up, or I shouldn't say Islamic governments, the governments in power in Islamic states in order to put in a government that really was founded on Sharia law. Well, now what we're seeing, oh my goodness, is that Sharia law is bad and it's oppressive and it paves the way for Christians to be raped and murdered and brutalized and imprisoned. Go over to Syria, and obviously Assad is a dirtbag, but you've got John McCain here in America wanting to arm the Free Syrian Army, so-called, which is comprised largely of Al-Qaeda type or Al-Qaeda member terrorists, as well as jihadists who completely agree with Al-Qaeda's agenda. They just haven't had a chance to link arms with them until now. And John McCain and other people in our government want to arm these rebels who are involved in murder, cannibalism, okay? They're murdering Christians in Syria and then literally committing cannibalism, all right? So the story behind the story is that our government is being led, and I want to, can I say the word by idiots, or is that unkind? I don't, all right, I'll try and think of another word. I'll get back to you on that. But our government is being led, both the Obama administration and other members in the intelligence community and foreign affairs committees, they haven't got a clue. They don't understand Islam. They don't know history. They don't read the Quran. They don't read the Hadith and the Sunnah. They don't know what they're dealing with. Namely, and what we've seen in Pakistan and in Afghanistan and in Iran and in Iraq and in Egypt and in Saudi Arabia and in Syria, what we've seen is that Islam itself, at its core, is a religion of violence that will run roughshod over the human rights that are inherent to the Judeo-Christian framework of law and of culture. No free speech, no ability to elect your representatives, the abasement of women, the persecution of people who do not go with their Shiite views or with their Sunni views of Islam. Egypt, Syria, these other nations that I mentioned are a living, breathing, hellacious proof that Islam is a threat to human dignity, to human liberty, and to the church itself. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, take a vacation to Turkey. Walk in the ruins of the churches that were built in the towns that are referred to in the book of Revelation. You can actually go to Ephesus and see where Paul preached. And you can see churches in total ruin. The literal area that held the baby Christ, the nascent church, now is overrun by Islam. That blueprint is what they want for the whole world. That is why we have to know what we're dealing with. We have to preach to them to convert to Christ, but we have to resist the spread of Islam until it is no longer the curse of the sword of Sharia law in the earth.